Well, I just got a new GoPro Hero 7 in the mail, and I thought, why not take it out for a little spin in the snowy tundra of Ohio? Let's do it. So today I wanted to talk about the 3 things that I liked and I didn't like about my first test run with the GoPro Hero 7 Black. Now remember, these are my personal opinions. These are the things that I personally look for in a camera, especially something small like the GoPro. So the first thing that I liked is the mic is good. And I know people had talked about it, watching a few videos here and there, and they said, you know, the new mic in the GoPro Hero 7 actually is pretty good. And I was a little bit unsure on whether I like it or not, and all of that footage at the very first part of the video was all done with the mic. New GoPro Hero 7 in the mail. There was no boom mic, there was no lapel, it was just the little microphone, and it works great. I put a quick little EQ on it that I put on all of my audio just to make sure levels are correct. Other than that, that's it. Number 2 is voice commands. This definitely wasn't a selling point for me when I saw the list of new things that the GoPro Hero 7 had, and I was kind of like, okay, it's just another little bells and whistles kind of thing just to add into it to get people to maybe buy it, but it's actually become something that's pretty awesome. GoPro, start recording. GoPro, stop recording. It's just like that. It's so easy and simple. So if your hands are tied, you have the GoPro mounted to a head strap, GoPro, start recording. GoPro, stop recording. It's super simple and awesome, and I've actually come to enjoy this little feature that I thought nothing of when I was looking through all the new specs the new GoPro Hero 7 had. Number 3, Hypersmooth is so smooth. Now I was a little pessimistic in the beginning. I thought, how good can it really be without, you know, distorting the footage and warping the corners, and it's a small little sensor. How can they pack something like that into something this small? And you know, you think, oh well, maybe they have a gimbal set up with the camera, you know, GoPro's shooting these videos to make their stuff look epic, but nobody can ever accomplish it. Well, everything in that video I just shot was done handheld, except for a few things where I sat it on the ground. So everything else was done with my hands and this little pole thing that has no gimbal stabilization in it at all, and it came out so smooth, like way smoother than I thought. This just makes it that much easier to use because I don't have to have some other small gimbal in my bag. It just packs more into a little thing that you didn't think you could get out of this little camera. Now here are the 3 things that I didn't like after the first test. The first thing is that the battery life is not that great. This thing has this teeny little battery that fits in the bottom of here, and it doesn't last very long. If you're gonna get the GoPro Hero 7, I would up front go buy a few extra batteries. Number 2 that was kind of a letdown is that there's no Hypersmooth in 120 frames per second. I love shooting slow-mo B-roll. It's just the bread and butter of my videos, but if you want to shoot at 120 frames or 240 frames a second, you're not going to be able to utilize that Hypersmooth stabilization that's in the new GoPro. It's a little bit of a bummer, not a deal breaker because I still get 60 frames a second, but it would have been awesome just to have that extra little bit of Hypersmooth in 120 frames a second. And last but not least, number 3, low light still sucks in the GoPro. All of the internal components in the GoPro Hero 6 and the GoPro Hero 7 are exactly the same. You get these new features like voice command and Hypersmooth, which is awesome, but you pretty much have the same video quality as the previous camera before it. So going into it, you're buying this camera that technically the same camera, it's just you get those added little features. To me, was worth it. It was worth not having to have another piece to my setup to make sure my GoPro footage was smooth. It is what it is, and so just beware. All in all, I do like the GoPro Hero 7 a lot. I think the likes outweigh the dislikes. The output and video quality is still relatively the same, but you get that Hypersmooth, which I think is a game changer for me. Now, would I choose the Sony a7 III over the GoPro Hero 7? Any day. But the reality is, I can't take my main setup everywhere with me. So the GoPro Hero 7 does that for me. I can throw it somewhere, I can run a time lapse really quick, I can jump into the water and not worry about a $3,000 camera setup getting destroyed, and I don't have to go buy a $1,500 housing for it. This will definitely be something that'll be staying in my bag as we travel and do adventures. So if you're having any doubts on whether or not you should go buy it, I'm telling you, it's probably worth it, and the Hypersmooth just changes everything. So enjoy.